Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to CBC Devotional. My throat is feeling a little bit better. So I pray that you guys woke up and ready to get the word, praising the Lord, starting your day with something positive. So as we continue to read from the book of Genesis 16, today we will be looking in verse 5. So we read about how Sarah was impatient, and the topic is impatient creates problems. Impatience creates problems. And this is where we spoke about Sarai. She couldn't wait on the promises that God promised her to have a baby, so she got her slave Hagar to be able to carry her child by allowing her to sleep with her husband. And then we see where yesterday, where Hagar, when she knew that she was pregnant, guess what she did? Yes, she started to show disrespect towards Sarai because she feel like she is entitled. She feel like now she have that self-confidence, that value that somebody sees her or someone wants her to be able to be used in some type of way instead of just be ordering around. Now she's valuable um, in a way where she's now carrying the child of Sarai. So we see how sometimes we can get besides ourselves when we are put in certain position. But we have to remember to respect, to appreciate, to be grateful where God placed us in life because everyone got an always have an opportunity to be able to to be able to graduate to that other level, but it's how we treat it. How are we going to be steward? What type of steward are we going to be over the things that God gave us, right? So let's go into verse 5 and see what it says. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering. I put my slave in your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me." Okay, so listen to this. So yesterday we heard about how, you know, Sarai got upset because Hagar, she was, sometimes when we, just imagine if it was you, you've been a slave all your life, and know you got that one opportunity to do something that your owner couldn't do. How would you react or respond? Like, how would you behave? And so we heard yesterday about Hagar. Her behavior was very disrespectful. Like she was looking at Sarah like, yeah, you can't have a child. You don't know if she's rubbing her stomach, just teasing or trying to get her upset or try to tell her like, yeah, you treated me bad or I'm a slave all these years, but now look at what you can't do. And so sometimes we have to be able to, you know what? Try to check our behavior, try to see how are we behaving. And now we see here that Sarah went to her husband. She went to her husband and she guess what she said? Don't we do this all the time? Well, not all the time, but sometimes. I should use that word more often. Sometimes. Sometimes we make decisions. We go and we do what is pleasing in our sight, and when it don't work out, guess what we do? We point the finger and said, no, it was your fault. Maybe it was you. But we have to be able to stop pointing fingers sometimes because sometimes people are in the wrong. And we have to look at our behavior. What can I do or what have I done in this situation that I don't want to repeat again? So then Sarah said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong that I'm suffering." Now, how is it Abram's responsibility? How is it that he is in the wrong when Sarai, who was the one that keep thinking and thinking that, oh, maybe this is the way that God is going to bless us with a child by getting her slave Hagar? How is that his responsibility? In a way it is, and we'll get to him soon. But with Sarai, she could have went to God and prayed and said, Lord, you know, I know you promised me a child, and I've prayed and I've waited, and I'm getting old, I'm wrinkled, my hair is white, and I don't see, you working it out for me. I don't see the promises coming to pass. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to go ahead and do what I want to do, but I want to follow your will. So, Lord, give me a sign. Or she didn't talk to God. She just assumed that this is the way that maybe God want to bless me through my slave, and, and have a child. So now she's putting the responsibility, and she's pointing her finger at her husband and saying that it is your responsibility why Hagar is treating her that way. So Hagar was really disrespecting her in her own home, and now she went to her husband and like, look here, I'm tired. Hagar is just, entitled, acting. I don't know if Hagar was next to Abram and be hugging on him or getting her upset by her, by her actions. And you could just imagine just these days how some people would take advantage of the situation to try to demean her and try to make that other person be jealous, or feel like they're below them and they're all superior. So Hagar feel like she's all superior now over Sarai, and Sarah is getting mad because now she's like, it's your fault that I'm suffering, that Hagar is treating me this way. So we're gonna find out about Abraham, because maybe he had some saying. We don't know if he be looking at Hagar all like nice and squinting his eyes and all this stuff in front of Sarai, because sometimes what these days when people have intercourse, and I know it's not one time that they tried, maybe they tried more than once, but just imagine the attachment that grew within that time, with Hagar and Abram. So just keep that in mind. Um, she said, "I put my slave." She put Hagar in your arms, and now she's right. She did put her slave in his arms. Nobody asked her. She came up with this all on her own. And because she was impatient. And this is how impatient creates problems. So she said that I put my slave in your arms. And now that she knows she's pregnant, she despised me. She hates me. May the Lord judge between you and me. Yeah, the Lord. Now you want to call the Lord, huh? Don't we do that sometimes when we're stuck in a situation where we're so uncomfortable, or now things aren't going our way, we start calling on the Lord? Well, we have to be able to do that even when we're waiting. If you feel like you're getting a little impatient, remember, be aware that God is everywhere. He's present. Be aware He's present. He's everywhere, and He can give you the answer that you need while you wait. And while you wait, remember when I talk about eat the crumbs, just worship, just be grateful. Find things around you to keep you busy doing, and ask the Lord Lord, just use me during this time. Just use me, keep me busy so I don't, have my mind too much on your promises that you have, because I want to do your will and I want to be able to obey. But this story reminds me of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. When Eve gave Adam the fruit, the forbidden fruit. And guess what? Adam didn't go to God and say, Lord, my wife is giving me this. Like, what should we do? You know, Nobody went to the Lord during that time, because sometimes we think that we know it all. And sometimes we want to be able to do it the way we think is right, when we don't even know the future. We wouldn't need God if we knew the future. So we got to go to the one who creates us, who knows our past, present, and future. And we have to be able to trust in him. That means believe in him that he could do everything and he will keep his promises. Or God or creator or father, he never lies. Cannot lie. So we see here that now we have the blaming now going on. Yesterday was Hagar. The problem was she started treating Sarah bad, with negative, very negative. And now we see that Sarah went to Abraham blaming him. Um, and she said, "May the Lord judge between you and me." So just like Adam and Eve, when God came in the garden and was looking, and he was like, "Where you at?" And they were hiding. And God was like, "Why are you hiding?" See, or situations, sometimes we hide behind leaves, we hide behind people, we hide up behind cars, behind houses, when we don't even have that much. So we have to be able, the only way that we can have is through Jesus, through God, to be able to have all the knowledge, the information that we need to be able to get where we are. Um, but she felt less of a woman because now she thought this was the right way, but now that Hagar is mistreating her, and she see that the baby growing inside Hagar, and just imagine that Hagar pulling Abraham's hand to feel the baby kick and all this stuff. Like, I could just imagine what Sarah was going through, crying, being by herself at night, or and just thinking about all that. We don't know if Abraham was sneaking off in the night, going to see Hagar. Like, this is reality. The same things that happen these days, trust me, they we could relate to them back then. And that's why God placed these words in the Bible, because he want us to be able to relate, and he want us to be able to stop before we make the wrong decisions. um So we just have to be able, I want to leave you guys with this. When we're waiting on the Lord, when we are waiting on the Lord, try to get our strength up. Try to feed ourselves with the Word of God. Talk to God in between. Be able to feed ourselves with not only the Word of God, but check your environment. Who is in your environment? What are they saying? Because the only thing that you can do is to remove yourself from the environment. What Sarah could have done, and we're learning this, was to remove herself. And the way you remove yourself, if someone is doing something negative, the only person that you have control over is you. Sometimes it's going to be hard because of what they're saying or doing. I know it's stuck in your head. But the only way to remove that thing, that negative thing out your head, is to feed it with something positive. So I challenge you today to be able to communicate with God throughout this day. Practice every day. Take one day at a time. And not blaming God or not blaming other people, but check ourselves first, because we are only responsible for ourselves, our actions. And remember that our actions determines our destiny. And tomorrow we will find out how what's the outcome and what Abraham response was to his wife Sarai. So I pray that that blesses you. God bless you. And remember to respect, to be grateful and appreciative, and know that God will come through for you no matter what you're going through. Thank you for joining, Lady Dorin. God bless you.